Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. I am here with Miss Pat. Talk about Miss Pat Settles It. Season 2 returns with new episodes on Tuesday, May 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Pacific on BT Plus. Thank you so much for joining me, Miss
Thank you for
Pat.
having me.
Miss Pat, now you know I've spoken with you before.
You sound familiar, but
I got one of them voices. No, I'm no Miss Pat. Let's put it like that.
I'm old, so I ain't gonna remember your face, but I remember your.
Miss Pat, let's get to it. You know, you've had such incredible success, simply just being yourself. That's what we're talking about, right? And I always wonder this of comedians. Are you this funny, like in real life? Because people always say like comedians are very, very serious people. So when the lights are off and everybody goes home and the scripts are down, are you still Miss Pat, the hilarious Miss Pat that we know?
I am, but at the house, I don't get that many laughs. They used to. I mind to say what I gotta say, so it ain't that funny to them.
It ain't fun. It ain't fun when Miss Pat says, "Put that up, take that down."
Set your black ass down. No, they don't see it as they. I'm just mama and wife. Okay, sit down somewhere. Don't nobody want to hear that mess.
Mm. And I want to say this just very quickly and very early. You have this relationship with Joe Rogan, who's like the number one podcaster. Like people aspire to get to that level, and Joe Rogan adores you, and he's kind of like the podcast god. How did that relationship become what it is?
I think it started because I thought he choked out a mountain lion. And so I went on his podcast and we just I did a lot of other podcasts of people he knew. And when I finally got to his podcast, everybody's like, "Oh my God, your whole career is gonna change." I'm not gonna say that happened, but it was a big my career. And we just clicked and became friends and it's I don't talk to him as much anymore, but I still talk to him.
Hmm.
He's a guy.
Hmm. Yeah, no one really knows like that. No, because again, he's just sort of this monumental like podcast figure to a lot of people. So no one really knows what kind of guy he is. And the fact that you guys have this sort of casual relationship, it's kind of like, wow, what's he like? What does he eat? What does he talk to people?
I don't know what he like and I don't know what he eat.
Oh, okay. There it is.
He's always
But
been nice to me.
right, exactly. That's what really counts.
Well,
And you
tell
know,
when I can tell when he's online, he like to eat elk, whatever that.
no, I think it's I live in New York, and there's one restaurant I know that has elk and moose and all of that stuff. So maybe I'll go in there. I don't know. You
Black.
ain't you hanging out with them interesting white folks, Miss Pat. You never had elk.
I'm not gonna let white folks push me into nothing that I'm not used to.
Wait a minute.
I try. I ain't got no white guilt, but I don't do. I'm 53. I don't do nothing that I don't want to do. I'm not potato salad with raisin. I'm not trying your white culture. I'm not interested in it. I'm not eating no. I haven't even got up to deer yet.
Mm. I feel like I would try it. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I do crazy things. I think I would once in a lifetime thing. But Miss Pat, I think what's interesting is that we have been sort of some of us anyways have been introduced to like it's like things happen so rapidly, right? Like success is fast and it's very instant. Obviously, you've been grinding for a long time, right? When
Over.
it when it hit the way that it did to like where we're talking about, we have the Miss Pat show, which is hilarious, and I've interviewed you for that. That's why I said Miss Pat. We go back a little bit, child. We go back a little bit, but it's like when it hit the way that it did, and the way everything became so fast. Were you ready for it?
As a comedian, I was ready for it.
Okay. Hmm.
Comedy is my first. It's my job. It was got me here. What I always do. It's the thing that I own. I don't think I look at my success like most people. It's just a job to me. People
Mm.
are like, "Oh my God, you're famous." I said, "No, I have a job. You're famous at your job too, as long as you clock in on time." So
Mm.
I think I keep myself humble by just saying it's a job. If I get recognized, I get recognized. I don't never go out to get recognized because I go outside with no bra on and a hat every day, all day.
Why do I believe you? I know you're telling the truth. Like, that's the thing that's crazy
You
about
catch me at Max any day with no bra on. I hate, but I mean, I'm thankful for my career.
it. Yeah.
all started to, to come together. Sometimes I sit back and say, how the hell did I get here? I'm a little black girl from the inner city of Atlanta with a GED, and
Mm,
here I am walking across stages, mingling with people that I never thought that I would be talking to. What trips me out is the people from the streets. Like when I sold drugs and who I grew up with,
mm,
I think they're more excited than anybody. Oh my God, a drug dealer can make it in Hollywood without selling drugs. So, I mean, I'm just thankful. I don't think I've taken it all in yet, but I'm just basing in it.
mm. I feel like the hustle spirit, like when we talk about the streets and like that kind of getting money or getting to it or just having a plan, I feel like that translates very well in that way. So to me, it actually makes sense. It does. And I feel like people a lot of times be like, how the heck did so and so make it from? I'm like, yo, when you can decide that you don't want to be the manager at the Walgreens and you're like, yo, I'm about to get it and I'm getting this like that's a type of hustle and spirit that you can't make that up. Like most of those people really would be very great at Fortune 500 jobs as CEOs. That's my opinion.
And that's very much true. And I tell people all the time, that's how I went into Hollywood. I have a drug mentality. I have a street mentality.
Exactly.
Stuff the same way. Like I might call her right at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, make money. Don't make sense. Why are you sleeping at 7 a.m.? The word
Mm,
started. What are you waiting on? You if you wake up at 10, you behind. And,
mm,
that's I even use my kids even don't even have that mentality that I have. I'm always constantly going. I'm always thinking about the next thing. I'm always, trying to create, trying to make that next move. And I know that's the training I got from the street
hmm
because you don't make no money when you ain't doing nothing.
hmm And what kind of person does that make you as a mother? And not to be super heavy, but it's like again, you've been through so much. Do you want your kids to be so-called square? Like you want them to be so far removed from anything you've ever seen? A lot of us grew up where our parents been through a lot. So then they put us through, we're like, it's live from the cul-de-sac. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what does that make you think about when as a parent?
Um, I, I constantly tell my kids all the time what I've been through, and they know what I've been through. And
Mm-hmm.
tell them, I just try to teach them to make the right moves in life. I'm not
Mm.
gonna lie, I don't have no perfect family. I got a son that's lazy as hell. I was just, I done gave up on that boy. My grandma called me today and told me to wake her daddy up to take her to school. She's standing there with the dad. Literally, she had to put me on speaker so I could holler at him. He jumped straight up.
Mm.
So I mean, I don't try to pretend that I'm perfect.
Mm.
No kids is gonna turn out how you want them to. But I do tell my kids, if you listen to me, I can help you get through a lot of life a lot easier than I gotten through life.
Mm. And do you withhold like can your kids just because Miss Pat can afford to give her kid a Range Rover at 16? Are you that mom?
No, no, what the hell are you talking about? No,
I just had to ask. I need that.
what? That's my girl. You done heard that from many famous people. I'm not buying you no Range Rover. I didn't have no
Miss
Range
Pat,
Rover.
why? But well, just because you didn't have one, but you can afford one, why can't I have one?
Why can't you? Well, you can do whatever you want to do once you can get a job at Chick-fil-A. However, I would advise you to save your money, but it's up to you. If you want to push a nice car, go ahead on. Now, I loan you one of my cars, but it ain't gonna be for right because I don't own one.
I heard that. My pleasure. I heard that.
It's gonna
So,
be my pleasure.
so Miss Pat, let's talk about Miss Pat settles it. So in this particular show, again, you're so hot right now, and everybody just wants to be a part of something that you're a part of. You are now the judge, and your these cases are so interesting because some of these cases are actual real civil suits, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so Miss Pat, how you decide you was gonna sit here and tell people what they're gonna do with their money in their life?
Well, it came that the idea came from an episode we did on the Miss Pat show,
Hmm
and not I didn't go in thinking that I was going to be the judge, but they ended up asking me to be the judge, and and I tell people I'm a convicted felon. I'm not a lawyer. I mean, I'm not a judge. I'm just here to sell. I'm that auntie. I'm that mama. I'm that cousin in the family with the most sense. That's gonna say, look here, A, and look here, B. Y'all need to
hmm
in the middle. And that's all it is. It's funny. I look at Miss Pat sells as a courtroom that everybody want to come to. No matter
hmm
how much you get cussed out, no matter how much you might lose, but you're gonna feel the love when you leave. Miss Pat settles it.
hmm And do you feel like that has always been the case in real life too, where it's like you're always just the voice of reason or somebody that always just kind of just makes it make sense?
Heck yeah, you know how many crack babies and kids on. I'm always the voice of reason or the pocketbook of reason or something.
Miss Pat, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I was a crack baby, you know what I'm saying? But I I grew up with some folks who I know, some things happen.
No, and what I like about the Miss Pat settles it is people enjoy coming to the courtroom. I get messages all the time. I need to bring,
Yeah.
I need to bring because they know they're gonna have a good time. They know I'm gonna bring the situation back together, and they know somebody gotta lose.
But you have celebrities on the show too, which is so hilarious. Like for instance, like I was cracking up with Carisha and Santana, also Fabulous and Jim Jones. Like these are people that are like famous in their own right, but they have to come in front of you to sort of settle their disputes. And it's just so funny because people are so tickled and they're a little besides themselves when they get in front of you. Because again, you're always gonna make it make sense.
Yeah, and that was for promo, which was a great idea on
That
BT.
was great.
And to have them come in front of me and with their little issues. I mean, people really enjoyed that. And they wasn't really on the show, but people really thought they was on the show
hmm
as part of the promo.
No, that was a good time to see that. Sasha Santana, we're birthday twins. Miss Pat, aren't you are you an Aries?
Yes, April 2nd.
Yeah, I know. And that's why you make such a good judge.
Well, thank you, thank you. And I hope people continue to tune in. This is the second part of the Miss Pat Sells It. These are all new episodes. And people are going to love it. I'm telling you, this is if you enjoyed the first half of season 2 of Miss Pat Sells It, you're gonna
Mhm.
love the back end of it.
No, and I feel like you really enjoy it. And like I'm hearing that in your voice as well. I'm hearing that. So what makes the show? And again, remember you said it stemmed from an episode and it became an idea that became a show. So what is it about going to season 2 and really about Miss Pat Settles It that you enjoy so much outside of even your stand-up and outside of the sitcom?
I don't have to learn lines. Everything you straight off the top of my head,
Is
baby.
that right? I didn't know that. Okay.
I don't have to move around. I'm just sitting there up under that cape, butt ass naked. I'm just kidding.
Miss Pat, can I borrow one of your Range Rovers? I'm just asking.
I don't own a Range Rover. You can borrow whatever you want to. I don't own a.
I just wanted to know. It's such a joy to really just watch you, and it's aspirational to see someone who is authentically themselves. And I remember when we first talked, obviously you're from Atlanta, but then you had moved to Indiana, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
So
back in.
you back in Atlanta
Yes, I
now?
am.
Oh boy, are the kids back in
Everybody's
Atlanta?
back here.
What do the kids think? Because you had them in Indiana for so long.
Well, they happy. They happy to be back home. All of them was born.
Ah, okay. Wow. So it's the right timing, right? To be back home.
Yes, my husband is retired. He's been retired now for about 3 years, and we all happy. Everything is going great.
Wow. So is okay, so he's retired. Is he bored? What you
I'm
doing with
not
him?
doing anything with him. He have 3 dogs, and he do it himself. He just walk around, pick up leaves. I guess I don't know what he outside doing.
Yeah, Miss Pat. No, but it's such a pleasure and an honor to speak with you. I really, really super appreciate it. So let's just make sure we know people need to go ahead and watch Miss Pat Settles It. Season 2 returns with new episodes on Tuesday, May 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's also Pacific Time on BT Plus. Miss Pat, thank you so much.
Thank you
So
for.
let's listen. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you.
No, and by the way, if I ever see you and I'm gonna remind you and hopefully you remember my voice, I'm gonna ask you for the keys to the car.
Okay, well, I don't know. Yukon, you welcome.
I like to drive a Yukon. My car is older than both of us.
Well,
No,
thank you.
thank you, Miss Pat. It's such a joy and such a pleasure. I really truly appreciate you and much success. It's just it's interesting to find someone. I'm a little girl from the south side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to find someone who has similar roots. Like you didn't come from something that just sort of like expected a certain kind of path. So I appreciate seeing someone that I can like, wow, like I can be that one day. I ain't as funny, Miss Pat. You know what I'm saying? But I know that success is something that we can all aspire to achieve, and you've proven that.
Thank you. And you have a blessed day,
You
sweetheart.
have a blessed day too. I really appreciate you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.